Archangel Michael says, stay still, breathe slow, and listen carefully. Something has been uncovered that was never meant to see the light of day. The walls around you have been whispering, and the echoes have finally reached the ones who have been watching from afar. For days, a presence has circled your space, unseen, unheard, but constantly aware of your every move. The silence in your room isn't empty anymore. It carries eyes that observe, notes that record, and shadows that memorize. You think you're alone, but your name is already written on a list that someone has been studying in silence. A quiet knock came before dawn today. Not loud, but deliberate, as if testing whether someone was home. It wasn't a delivery, it wasn't a neighbor. It was the sound of a file being opened somewhere, a door unlocking, and your story being reviewed by hands that don't belong to you. The truth is, something inside your home caught their attention. Something small, maybe forgotten, but marked by time and energy you didn't know was visible. They've been tracing your path, from the messages you sent to the papers on your desk. 333, type Amen to get your blessing. Someone made a call 3 nights ago. They mentioned your name with a tone that was calm yet cautious. That single call triggered the motion, not by enemies, but by the ones who protect the unseen rules. Since then, your home has been marked, not by evil, but by divine inspection. Archangel Michael whispers through the current of the air. He knows this is not to harm you, but to awaken you. Something inside those walls carries more than memory, it carries proof of what you've hidden from yourself. The investigation is not just of your home, but of your heart. When they stepped inside, the air shifted. The mirror reflected a shadow that wasn't their own. The curtains moved slightly though no wind touched them. What they saw next wasn't just objects. It was energy, a vibration of everything you've touched, felt, and feared. Every photograph on the wall told a story of a promise you forgot to keep. Every drawer revealed more than possessions, it revealed moments you locked away. Yet there, under the floorboard near the right corner of your bed, was something they paused at, something old, something that glowed faintly even in the dark. 444, type Amen to get your blessing. They didn't take it. They only looked. Because that object wasn't meant to be confiscated, it was meant to be recognized. It carries the light of a truth you buried long ago, something even the heavens have been waiting for you to reclaim. Your name was never written in ink, it was etched in energy. That's why they could track it. That's why every step you take leaves a silent mark of light, one that connects to divine protection but also divine accountability. Archangel Michael says your silence has been sacred but misunderstood. You thought you were protecting yourself, yet heaven saw it as a shield hiding your higher purpose. Now, through this silent observation, you're being called to reveal what you truly hold. They found the letters, not physical ones, but energy-encoded imprints that vibrate through your surroundings. Each letter holds a memory, each sentence an emotion, and together they form a pattern too powerful to ignore. 555, type Amen to get your blessing. At 3:47 a.m., one of the watchers stopped in front of your window. They didn't knock, didn't speak, just stood there in complete stillness. For those few seconds, time itself froze. Because in that stillness, heaven aligned with earth. The angels who protect you allowed this investigation not to punish, but to purify. You've carried too many silent truths, ones that needed to be seen, not by the world, but by destiny. The Watchers are not enemies, they are instruments of awareness. They've seen the way you move through pain, the way you hold your tears behind strength. That's why your home was chosen, not for what's wrong inside it, but for what's sacred within it. The energy here is ancient, and it's been glowing like a signal for weeks. 666. Type Amen to get your blessing. They saw the photograph of the person you still think about. The one you never deleted from your desk, though you pretend you moved on. That photo holds more energy than any word you could ever say, because every emotion you felt is still alive within it. In the kitchen, a small paper was found tucked behind a vase. It had handwriting that wasn't yours. It said, "When they return, everything changes." The Watcher paused, realizing this wasn't an ordinary note, it was a divine prophecy written by someone who once knew. Archangel Michael says you were never in danger, you were being documented by heaven's own timeline. Every event, every delay, every secret kept has been stored in sacred archives. Now it's all surfacing, because you are close to a divine transfer of truth. They moved deeper, into the hallway where your footsteps echo differently. The air gets heavier there, not in fear, but in memory. That's where your destiny bends, where timelines cross, where unseen forces watch you make the smallest decisions that ripple into miracles. 777. Type Amen to get your blessing. When they opened the last door, a gust of air escaped. It wasn't from outside, it was from a time long past, when you made a promise to never forget who you are. That promise has now been reactivated. The Watchers saw it too, they felt it. In one corner, a faded journal sat half open. The ink was blurred, but the intention was clear. You once wrote about wanting to make a change, to shift something big in your life. That intention, even if forgotten, never lost its power. Archangel Michael says your truth is being witnessed now. Not judged, witnessed. Every hidden part of you is surfacing so that nothing can be used against you anymore. The Watchers aren't just authorities of man, they are representatives of divine order. 888. Type Amen to get your blessing. Outside your home, a car waited. The driver looked at your door for exactly 7 minutes before leaving. They were not there to arrest, they were there to confirm something. To confirm that the one inside is still under divine surveillance, still guarded by grace. In the spiritual realm, this event means the cleansing has begun. Your environment is shifting, your energy resetting. What was once blocked is now being cleared, piece by piece, silently, through this process of divine observation. The Watchers have reported something unexpected, not fear, not guilt, but light. They felt warmth emanating from your space, like peace hidden beneath layers of chaos. They knew then that heaven still lives here. 999. Type Amen to get your blessing. Tonight, when you sit alone, the air will feel different. Don't panic. That's not intrusion, that's alignment. Every corner of your home is being restructured to hold higher frequency. You will feel weight leaving you, like invisible dust being lifted. Archangel Michael says you are being freed, not framed. Freed from energies, memories, and burdens that have overstayed their welcome. This isn't surveillance, it's restoration. You are being rewritten into destiny's pure light. They didn't find crime. They found calling. They didn't find guilt. They found grace. What they discovered in your home wasn't evidence, it was essence. The evidence of divine favor, still alive, still glowing through your being. 111. Type Amen to get your blessing. If your ears ring tonight, know that angels are near. If your lights flicker, it's not coincidence. These are confirmations that everything hidden is being brought to the light of safety and truth. Nothing impure can remain where you are headed. They wrote their final note before leaving, case closed, no harm detected, only divine activity in process. Those were their exact words. You may never see the document, but heaven already approved it. Your name is now marked with purity. Your home is sealed with angelic light. The watchers will no longer return, because their mission is complete. You have been found innocent in the eyes of the divine. 222. Type Amen to get your blessing. From now on, you may feel a new peace in your surroundings. That's not emptiness, it's the sound of freedom. The walls no longer whisper, they sing. The floor no longer creaks in fear, it hums with relief. Archangel Michael says the inspection of your soul is done. You are safe. You are protected. You are chosen. What they saw in your home was the evidence that heaven has always been guarding your journey. Your story has now been cleared through all levels, physical, emotional, and spiritual. What remains is only light. That is why the watchers bowed before leaving. They knew this was holy ground disguised as ordinary life. 333. Type Amen to get your blessing. Now breathe, my child. The eyes watching you are no longer human, they are divine guardians ensuring nothing dark ever touches your space again. From this moment, every step you take will feel lighter, every breath filled with grace. Remember, your home wasn't searched, it was sanctified. The watchers didn't invade, they bowed. Because what they found inside was more powerful than any secret, the evidence of divine truth. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. The silence after they left felt heavier than their presence. It wasn't emptiness, it was the echo of divine authority retreating, leaving a trace of light behind. You could still feel their footsteps vibrating through the floorboards like a heartbeat fading slowly into eternity. The curtain swayed though no wind touched them. The mirror across the hall shimmered faintly, reflecting a faint golden hue that hadn't been there before. Something sacred had passed through your home, leaving its imprint not in dust, but in the air itself. You stood there, barely breathing, knowing this wasn't just another night. It was the night heaven and the unseen merged into one space, your space. Every vibration, every flicker, every soft sound carried the weight of revelation. Archangel Michael says the watchers were not just protectors of law, but guardians of destiny. They came to confirm what heaven already knew, that your life had crossed into divine timing. That what they found in your home wasn't evidence of guilt, but proof of calling. A faint scent of myrrh and cedar began to fill the hallway. It felt ancient, like the smell of temples before dawn. You walked toward the door, but something made you stop, a golden feather lying just near the threshold, glowing faintly beneath the moonlight. 777. type Amen to get your blessing. When you touched it, warmth ran through your fingertips. It wasn't just a feather, it was a seal, proof that you were watched not with suspicion, but with sacred attention. The kind of watch that protects, that prepares, that redeems. Outside, the air was still, yet alive. The stars above your home pulsed like they were in rhythm with your heartbeat. Somewhere in that stillness, a whisper floated through the night, "You are free now, but your freedom carries purpose." You closed the door slowly, knowing something greater was unfolding. The walls no longer felt like boundaries, they felt like shields. What once felt like a prison now radiated as a sanctuary. There was a message left behind on your kitchen table. It wasn't written by hand, yet it appeared in soft silver letters, "Cleanse nothing. Everything here has been purified." You realized this wasn't an intrusion, it was a blessing in disguise. 888, type Amen to get your blessing. You felt drawn to the old wooden box under your bed, the one you hadn't opened in years. Your hands trembled slightly as you lifted the lid. Inside, the papers, photographs, and notes shimmered faintly, as though someone had dusted them with light. Each memory you once thought painful now felt sacred. Every letter you once regretted writing now carried peace instead of guilt. It was as if your entire past had been rewritten in divine ink. You walked to the window and looked outside again. The street was empty, but the silence wasn't lonely, it was watchful. You could sense their presence even now, but it no longer frightened you. Archangel Michael says what is happening now is the unfolding of restoration. Everything taken from you in secrecy is being returned in light. What was misunderstood is now being clarified by truth itself. 999, type Amen to get your blessing. You poured yourself a glass of water and sat near the window, feeling the energy move through you. It wasn't nerves, it was awakening. Every breath felt like a new beginning, every exhale a release of all that once haunted you. On the glass, a tiny drop of condensation traced the shape of a circle. You remembered the stories of sacred seals and how they represented completion. Somehow, deep inside, you knew the Watcher's visit marked the end of one cycle and the start of another. You heard faint footsteps again, not from outside, but within the rhythm of your home itself. The house was breathing, alive with divine current. Every vibration hummed with the energy of protection. Archangel Michael says the light in your home is now active. From this night forward, no harm can approach your threshold. Every sound you hear is an echo of angelic movement. 333, type Amen to get your blessing. The objects around you started to feel different. The couch, the books, even your clothes seemed lighter, as if their energy had been lifted. The burden that once lingered in the corners had vanished completely. A soft glow came from beneath your mirror again. This time, it reflected not your face, but a soft, radiant outline standing just behind you, calm, immense, and watching. You didn't turn around, you simply knew it was him. Archangel Michael was there, not in body, but in presence. He stood behind you as the protector of your newfound peace. The feather you found was his, a mark of divine authority confirming your home had been sanctified. He whispered, not in words, but through vibration, "Do not fear what they saw. Fear only forgetting who you are." And then, the warmth intensified, wrapping around you like a cloak of light. 444. Type Amen to get your blessing. The night deepened, but sleep wouldn't come. You didn't want it to. Every passing hour felt sacred, as though heaven had chosen your living room as a temporary altar. You could feel the energy humming softly, steady, powerful. Somewhere near dawn, the clock stopped ticking. Time paused, not broken, just stilled, waiting for something to complete. Then a faint hum started from nowhere, like the frequency of a heartbeat synced with yours. You walked through your home once more, barefoot, feeling the floor pulse faintly with each step. The same floor where the watchers once stood was now glowing beneath your touch. It wasn't wood, it was light. Archangel Michael says the evidence they found was not of sin but of destiny. The sealed energy under your roof has now awakened. The inspection was heaven's final confirmation of your divine alignment. 555. Type Amen to get your blessing. Morning light entered slowly, tenderly. The sun's first ray landed exactly on the golden feather by your door, and for a brief second, it flared, bright enough to cast a small halo on the wall. You knew it was a sign of completion. When you stepped outside, the world looked the same, but something within you had changed forever. You were no longer being watched, you were being guided. Every path you took from now on would be divinely directed. As you walked down the street, a man passing by nodded at you with a knowing smile. He carried a badge around his neck, but it wasn't of the earth. You realized then that not all watchers wear uniforms. Some wear light. 666. Type Amen to get your blessing. He disappeared into the crowd, leaving behind a soft whisper carried by the wind. You are seen, you are protected, and you are ready. The words sank into your heart like a sacred seal. You returned home one last time to look around. Everything felt unfamiliar yet peaceful, as though a lifetime of shadows had been erased overnight. You finally understood, heaven had not exposed you, it had elevated you. The Watcher's report, somewhere sealed away in higher realms, had one final line at the bottom, subject now under divine supervision only. That's how they closed your case. From this moment, your story belongs to light alone. You have been cleared, purified, and chosen. Every sound that enters your home will now echo with protection. 777. Type Amen to get your blessing. Tonight, when you close your eyes, you will see light shapes moving gently in your dreams. They are the same watchers, now smiling, now free from duty. They've left behind an energy that will guard you forever. Your home isn't just your space, it's now a divine station of grace. Every day from here will carry a shimmer of calm, a gentle vibration of peace that never leaves. Archangel Michael says you have nothing to hide, nothing to fear. What they found in your home wasn't against you, it was for you. The discovery was simply heaven reminding you that even your hidden places hold light. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. The night returned to stillness, but peace had a strange pulse within it. It was as if your home was breathing, exhaling the last of the old energy. Each second carried a low hum that seemed to sync with your heartbeat, slow and sacred. You sat in the quiet, tracing your fingers over the golden feather. Its surface was warm, almost alive. A faint vibration passed through your hand, like a whisper trying to form words you couldn't yet hear. Then the lights flickered once, soft, deliberate. Not a warning, but a sign. Outside, the moon brightened as though responding to something unseen inside your walls. You knew this wasn't the end, it was the beginning of revelation. The air shimmered slightly, like invisible hands parting a curtain. You sensed movement, not threatening, just watchful. The same presence that once guarded your home was still here, unseen but unwavering. Archangel Michael says the feather is a key. What it unlocks cannot be found in wood or stone, but in your own spirit. You have been chosen to carry a vibration that transforms places of fear into sanctuaries of light. You placed the feather near the window. A small circle of gold light spread outward across the glass, like dawn touching the horizon. The warmth filled the room and wrapped around your shoulders like invisible silk. Far away, the sound of distant chimes echoed without wind. You closed your eyes, and for a moment you saw shapes moving in the light, figures clothed in calm, eyes bright like morning stars. They were standing guard, silent, patient, devoted. The scent of myrrh returned, stronger now. It lingered in every corner, cleansing memories, softening the edges of old pain. Your breath deepened as you felt layers of heaviness slide away from your chest. When you opened your eyes, the clock read exactly midnight. The moment held a still perfection, like the world pausing to listen. The hum inside your home shifted into a tone so pure it felt almost like music. You realized that heaven was resetting your timeline. Every wrong turn, every delay, every heartache, erased in silence, rewritten in grace. The watchers had completed their report, and now heaven was writing yours. From outside, a faint light approached. Steady, white, serene. It stopped before your gate and hovered like a gentle star waiting to be invited in. You felt no fear, only knowing. 333, type Amen to get your blessing. The gate opened on its own, silent and slow. The light drifted forward, forming the outline of someone tall, cloaked in radiance. It didn't step fully into your home, it simply stood at the threshold, patient and still. You sensed the same presence from your dreams, the messenger assigned to deliver the next revelation. Without words, you understood, this was continuation, not conclusion. The divine investigation had moved to its next phase. Your heartbeat steadied, aligning with the rhythm of the light. The entire house seemed to recognize the visitor, responding with a faint shimmer along every surface. The air felt holy. Archangel Michael says this light is the embodiment of confirmation. It carries truth that cannot be spoken but only felt. Tonight, your faith will crystallize into manifestation. The figure raised one hand, and the golden feather lifted from your window, floating through the air toward them. It hovered in front of their heart, then burst into hundreds of smaller lights that filled the room. Each spark carried a silent blessing. You watched, motionless, as one spark touched your forehead. Warmth spread down your spine, erasing fatigue, dissolving the last remnants of fear. The air itself seemed to breathe your name with affection. Outside, the stars brightened as if acknowledging your initiation. The visitor's form began to fade, absorbed back into the horizon. Only the sound of soft bells remained, echoing between worlds. 444. Type Amen to get your blessing. A peace unlike anything you'd known settled inside your chest. You realized that the watchers, the feather, the light, every piece was connected, orchestrated to awaken the divine within you. The investigation had never been about guilt, it was about readiness. The morning that followed was bright but calm. Birds sang before dawn, their voices weaving through the fresh air like a promise kept. You moved through your home and felt it breathing alongside you, alive with grace. Every reflection now held clarity instead of confusion. Every shadow felt soft, no longer hiding secrets. The energy in your space was balanced, harmonized, perfect. Archangel Michael says this peace is permanent. The evidence of divine favor cannot be removed once it's written in light. Walk boldly, for the eyes that once observed you now protect you. And as you step into the new day, remember, the watchers did not expose your story, they certified your destiny. 555. Type Amen to get your blessing. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20.